Ayo, what's poppin'? It's J to the A, D to the A. Welcome to my little corner of heaven. How y'all doing today? Today we finna get into something hopefully short and very, very, very beneficial. I'm a talking ass nigga. There's been times where I have been depleted of my energy trying to explain, trying to take up for myself, trying to share my truth, trying to be high vibrationally righteous. And it was wasted. I wasted my energy. I wasted my words. I wasted my time, bro. Wasted my time. We cannot control how people perceive us. And this is a warning for everybody out there. Do not lose yourself in how people falsely perceive you. You listening to this? You might be like, Jada, I respect you. Jada, I like you. Jada, I care about you. Jada, I love you. But I have lived so far the majority of my life being misunderstood or misinterpreted. I'm not saying I'm perfect. It's shit I've had to learn. But there's no reason to explain myself to someone who doesn't deserve my explanation. There's no reason to explain your truth to somebody who already has their idea of things, their scope of things, their psychosis fixed on a certain narrative. And that's why in life, I be telling people, put shit in your back pocket and take it up with the Most High. Because me doing that allows my mind to stay open. Yes, I stand on certain shit that's been confirmed to me. But some things I am truly open to being changed. I have an open mind. All that energy, that's wasted. Be careful. That's all I got for you. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, my G. I hope this helps somebody out there.
Yeah, it's not gonna help no fucking body. So you want to talk about psychosis? I'm on one, bro. You want to talk about psychosis? You want to call people psychotic, right? The thing about it is, I would have never guessed she would have done the shit that my guides confirmed via dreams that she did to me. I didn't go and reach for that. I didn't go and make that shit up. I didn't wake up one day and say, let me create my own narrative about Jada Epps. This shit came to me. So for you to tell me that dreams, visions, and other psychic messages I had that came to me exposing your ass, not just on one occasion, not just on two occasions, not just on three occasions, but on several occasions, for you to tell me that that is psychotic is for you to literally contradict your entire existence as a spiritualist. You cannot claim spirituality and then turn around and tell me that I'm being psychotic for listening to God and my mandalas via my dream space and via my other psychic spaces. You are calling me psychotic because it is convenient for you and it puts you in a position to where you don't have to worry about taking accountability. You cannot justify what God has shown me because it's true. That's why you can't explain yourself. That's why you have nothing to say. You can't say shit, quite frankly. You can't say shit. You've been exposed. You could have said things, and you did say things when I was still believing that you were high and mighty. You could have said things, and you did say things if I was still under belief, when and if I was to still be under the belief that Something must be wrong within my internal spaces. I must be corrupt. I must be the bad person. It was easy for you to keep having things to say. It was easy for you to get on the phone and take up the whole conversation, and I only said but 2 words. And for 5 and 6 hour conversations, I was just listening to your ass talk. It was easy. You had paragraphs of shit to type up, trying to convince me that my intuition was incorrect. That's when it was easy for you, when I was that vulnerable, when I was that gullible. But now I'm on my shit. Now I know my divinity. Now I know my beauty. Now I know my greatness in God's eyes. Now I accept the fucking truth for what the fuck it was, period, and what it currently still is, because you don't look like you plan to evolve and stop the demonic attachments that you have. Hi, my name is Joe, aka Madam Solar Babe, aka Janice, and this will be part 1 of my story time with the merchant I am Winkle Bottom, aka Jada. If you all have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. And excuse my tongue, I know it's yellow, I just had some turmeric. I promise it's not just grime or dirt or anything. So yes, enjoy the video, and I hope that it's informative to you all. Hello, or welcome back to the Aphotic Zone. I am your hostess, Joe, aka Madam Solar Babe, and today I'm going to be speaking on a very important topic, and I'll just go ahead and get into it. Please seek God for yourself. This is making me emotional. Please seek God for yourself. There are people out there that have low vibrational urges that have resided in their being for way too long. They have low vibrational spirits, demons attached to them that don't plan on going anywhere, or that they are consciously or unconsciously feeding and giving a space within their being. And these people thrive off of the energy or energies of high vibrational divine beings. Even if you're not at your highest vibration, simply divine beings in general. And they can see you. I think the term is called dark empathy. You know, they can see you. They see your soul. They see your being. They see your light. They see your presence from a mile away. They have the dark empathy, aka the psychic sensory, to be able to know exactly who the fuck you are. And oftentimes, these beings know us before we know ourselves. Now, although they know us before we know ourselves, they treat us like we are not as divine as we actually are. And the science of that is to trick me out of thinking that I am not as divine as I actually am, to tell me that I am someone opposite of myself, is to pretty much convince me into being that person, pretty much manipulate me into being a being who is not as high and divine as I am. This cannot happen if you seek God for yourself. This cannot happen if you have discernment. This cannot happen if you are not dependent on other people to tell you who you are, if you are not dependent on other people's validation, if you are not telling yourself, I can't do it on my own, I need a tarot reader, I need a conjure woman, that cannot happen if you do not tell yourself those things. Or even if it's not spiritual, I need somebody to tell me whether I can do it or not. I need somebody to tell me whether I'm great or not. I need somebody to help me with this and help me with that. Now, I'm not, being radical and saying don't seek help at all, right? Because there have definitely been times where I needed help. I needed to seek someone. And I am going to be happy to be that someone to people who are in the position that I once was in. And the reason why I have so much faith in myself is because I've experienced a dark mentor. I've experienced a mentor who deliberately siphoned the energies of motivation, peace, and healing from me, and then turned around and offered the same energies that she took from me via black magic on her website. Now tell me that's not demonic. But these beings, back to what I was saying, these beings will convince you that you're not who you are. And the only way that that can happen is if you depend on what the fuck they have to say enough. And a lot of times you don't become that dependent unless a source of trust is built. So they will paint themselves in the highest light. Oh, I just want what's best for you. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. I'm high vibrational. I care about these elements of the universe. I care about this. I prioritize this. They will work very, very hard to build a gold reputation for themselves. And this reputation gives them what they need to get into, I can't even say vulnerable minds, because if you're dealing with somebody that's very good at the manipulation and the dark empathy and siphoning energy from you without you realizing it, it's hard to tell. So I can't just use the terms vulnerable or gullible. But if you don't fucking know yourself, and if you don't build a relationship with God for yourself, it is very easy for anybody to convince you that you are someone that you're not. And it can get so deep. It can get so intense that without that individual, you feel like you are nothing. And you're looking at them, you're admiring them, saying, oh, they have everything I wish I had. Or, damn, like I wish I was built like them. I wish I was as powerful as them. I wish I had it like that. And because I don't have it like that, I need to depend on them to at least get a taste of that glory. And that is not true. Everything that you want and need is already within you. And even if it's not within you, it's within God. And God will never put you in a position to be codependent on anyone. God is going to provide those things to you in a matter of time if you're actually doing the work to be in solitude, to trust yourself, to trust in God, and to actually put in fucking work to get to know yourself. For good and bad, not just the good. Because it's the individuals who either subside their bad or low vibrationally embrace their bad, and they let it consume them. And they do shit like trying to soul swap, trying to take people's identities, trying to tell people that they are not who they really are. Damn near almost everything that this individual told me that I wasn't, I'm not even gonna go down the list of things, but it's been so many things that this so-called advisor, this so-called mentor told me that I was not, told me that I could not do. And the second I pulled back from them and I accepted that they weren't shit, but not only did I pull back from them, I pulled back from everyone. Because I was in that period where I was telling myself, okay, I don't have them, let me run to the next person. Okay, I don't have the next person, let me run to the next person. Let me scout out the next person. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You're alone for a reason. You're misunderstood for a reason. And the reason being is because you already got it. You got what you're looking for in other people, whether that's a mentor, an advisor, a relationship with someone, love. Sometimes that can even manifest as employment. You might be meant to be a business owner. You have what you're looking for. It's already within you. God, my higher self, my Madalas have shown me the beauty in me. And this is such a beautiful person. This is a person completely opposite of who this advisor told me that I was. They have shown me my capabilities. The capabilities that they have shown me have been totally opposite of the capabilities this person has shown me. When I totally detached from them and I accepted who they were, that's when my gifts were activated. That's when God said, okay, since you are detaching from feeling like you need this person, since you know that you don't, now I'm going to show you just how much you don't. Now I'm going to activate those gifts that I was freezing inside of you. And the reason why God and your Madalas won't tell you and show you who you are, admits you being in karmic relationships, admits you not loving yourself, admits you not trusting yourself, is because if they were to do that in those times, it would be a waste. You would be giving energy to the wrong people. You would be letting the wrong people trick you out of your spiritual draws even further. Those people would try to take your light, would try to dim your light as much as they fucking can. This person has entirely tried to take my identity. And the thing about these narcissists and energy vampires is that they will tell you that you are the very traits that they know that they are. So they can deflect their identity and project it onto you, confusing you. It's so easy if you don't fucking love yourself, bro. It's so easy confusing you, making you feel like you are less than, putting you in a position to beat yourself up, blame yourself, do fake shadow work. And I'm calling it fake because you're doing shadow work on shit that's not flawed. Do shadow work on things that's not even corrupt about you. On traits about yourself that you're meant to have. Making you think that those traits are negative. Perverting them. We have to fucking depend on ourselves. And again, I'm not saying that in a radical way, but the scales are unbalanced when it comes to solitude and depending on other people. We have to. And it's funny, I got a dream. I got a dream, basically. And it's funny because I was still in a period of denial. And this person just ran with that shit. I was thinking that they were the next thing to God. And I told them about a dream that I had that was actually exposing their ass. And they perverted the dream. And they were like, oh, you thought shit was sweet. You thought shit was sweet. You thought that you weren't going to be reprimanded. Which what they expected me to be reprimanded for was sticking up for myself, asserting myself. They will make you feel so bad for asserting yourself and saying, hey, this isn't right. Now I'm saying, hey, this isn't right. Suddenly, I'm a fucking bully. Suddenly, I'm toxic for simply asserting my boundaries and not letting you run game on me. But then I go back on that and I feel bad and I become low vibrationally porous, thinking that I was wrong for sticking up for myself in the first place, when really my divine masculine self was meant to come in to protect me. Because my higher self knew they was on some bullshit way before I knew. But this person, I told them about a dream that I had exposing them. I didn't know it was exposing them until I got out of the relationship with them. And I was like, damn. And I had sent them a message. I'm going to insert it into this video. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to let this message speak for itself. I'm not going to ramble on, but I do want to talk about the pictures that I'm going to insert in this video. This person told me I'm not meant to read tarot cards. They told me I wasn't meant to do conjure work, amongst many other things, right? I did those things for myself because God put me into a position where it's like, okay, now you have to be in solitude. And if you keep trying to resist, it's only going to get worse for you. I accepted that solitude. I'm still navigating throughout that solitude as well. I'm still actively, attempting to master it. And I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I'm not perfect. I still have work to do. But as far as getting to, the point that I needed to get to have the space to be in solitude, not just physical space, but mental, emotional, etc. space that I need, I feel like I am in a position where it's easy to do that. But God put me in a predicament where I was kind of forced into solitude. Not even kinda, I was. And in that solitude, I had so many great talks with myself. And so many why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I say this before with myself? And I really became like a nurturer to myself, a best friend to myself in that season of my life. And I discovered so much. And I discovered that I was more than qualified, more than capable to do the things that she told me I couldn't do. And when I've done several tarot readings on myself since then, and they have been phenomenal. I have experienced energies and gifts that I haven't experienced before. And while I was in connection with them, I wasn't able to read the cards that well. I wasn't able to pick up on the energies that clearly, that precisely, knowing that it's not my ego, right? But that came to me when I detached from them. Same for conjure. Told me I couldn't do my own conjure. Did my own conjure. That shit manifests so well. Oh my God. And have done several conjures since then. And I was giving thousands of dollars to this person. And they were hexing me with the money I was giving them. They were doing black magic on me with the money I was giving them. Behind the scenes, beauty hexes. Hexes to stall my motivation. Hexes to stall, to give me heartbreak, to disturb the peace in my life. And they're painting themselves out to be this fucking saint. And because I was so dependent on them, I would always say shit like when they would bring stuff up. Oh, you're toxic. You're this, you're that. I had a dream and it said that you're doing things to me. Honestly, I really feel like this person, I don't think that they actually had any dreams. I think they just wanted to continue to finesse me out of my greatness and make me feel as though I was more behind than I actually was. And again, if someone has the power over you to where they can do that, to go as far, like that's beyond imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a syndrome. It's an illusion. They can get past that illusion and make you actually be that person to one degree or another. If they have that power, that is fucking dangerous. That is soul swapping. They're taking your soul from you by telling you that you're someone that you're not. And I would say I was confused when they would bring up things about me that wasn't true. And I would genuinely feel like I was confused, but I was never confused. I was just dependent on them to tell me who I was and who I wasn't. I was never confused because my psychic knowing and my intuitive knowing and my higher self and God and my Medalas were always telling me about this person, whether it came in a dream, whether it came in a download that I would write off as a shadow thought and that I would beat myself up for, disregarding my intuition because I'm thinking that what's intuitive and what's my psychic knowing is me being mean to them or me being nasty to them. And it's really God giving me the truth about them.
Covert narcissists have such an insidious style of gaslighting that slowly disconnects you from your intuition and from reality. They will intentionally set up situations to trigger you, but they will design it in a way that the context of the situation is so bizarre that you feel crazy for even having the thoughts and feelings that you're having in response to it. It's designed in such a way that you go crazy within your own thoughts and you start arguing with yourself about whether or not what you think is happening is actually happening. You feel like they're doing it on purpose, but the context of the situation is so ridiculous that you convince yourself that they couldn't possibly be doing it on purpose. But then eventually you can't ignore it anymore, so you end up bringing it up. And they're absolutely shocked that you could come to that conclusion about what's going on. And they're offended that you would think that they would do something like that on purpose. Ultimately making you feel irrational and crazy for being upset about something that in a normal context would be very normal and even trivial. Meanwhile, they set the whole thing up to make you feel this way in the first place. Let's say, for example, triangulating you with your own children or even your pet. Lately, they've been cold with you, they've been distant, they've been dismissing and invalidating your feelings, they've been withholding affection and intimacy and ultimately making you feel like you don't matter. And the timeline of them treating you this way seems to coincidentally align with them suddenly giving more attention, more love, more everything to your child or to your family pet. They're sweet talking to them, but they've taken that away from you. They give them a loving greeting when they get home, but not you. They're affectionate with them, but not you. Or maybe even choosing to sleep with them at night now instead of you. And for some reason, it just feels off. And your intuition is telling you that this is somehow directed at you, to hurt you, to punish you. And as it happens more, you start to become upset, maybe even jealous. But then you're like, okay, what the f***? This is completely irrational for me to feel jealous over their relationship with our child or our dog, because in a normal context, that is irrational. So you start battling between what your body is feeling and how your intuition is telling you that this is being done purposely to trigger you, and feeling crazy for having these thoughts in the first place because of the context of the situation. And they observe your discomfort, and they will continue to do those same things in subtle ways to trigger you until you finally react and end up calling them out. Like, I feel like you're neglecting me and giving our daughter the attention that you used to give me. Or, are you treating the dog better on purpose in front of me? Which sounds absolutely insane when you say it out loud. And then they proceed to highlight exactly how insane it sounds, to where you might even start regretting saying this in the first place and starting to doubt whether you misinterpreted the entire situation and feeling embarrassed for having this thought process in the first place, because their reaction to your reaction seems so real, which ultimately conditions you to distrust your own intuition. They will design so many situations like this, and over time it truly causes you to just self-destruct, because you're constantly having this inner battle with yourself and you can't tell what's real anymore. When it gets to that point, it becomes much easier for them to start to distort your reality about things that would normally be very obvious, blaming you for something that clearly isn't your fault, or blatantly denying evidence of something that they lied about. Because by this point, you distrust yourself so much and you've become so disconnected with reality that you almost rely on them to tell you what reality is. And one of the many problems with that is that their reality is completely distorted and full of lies.